How long do you think you'll be traveling before settling down? I don't know. Oh yeah. I feel like... Oh yeah. Oh. We have 2 hours until we leave. Might just spend it here. Good morning and welcome to a Q&A. I wanted to try and do it on a hammock, but I don't know if this is gonna work. I started a Q&A a few weeks ago, but I've only just got around to doing it because we've been crazy busy. Right. Oh, okay. Hammocks are difficult. I was gonna start doing it on this tree, but I'm not getting ants on me. One sec. Well, honestly, where is a good place for this? Alright, we're gonna start off from here. I wanted it to be facing the beach, but it's very bright today, so just the beach is there and we'll do it here. Right. I did a Instagram post a few weeks ago asking for questions to do my next Q&A because it's been a while since I've done one and now seems like a good time to start. Okay, let's do this. I've got the Instagram post in front of me, so I'm just going to crack on and answer all the questions. Hey Jord, how's it going? My question is there any downside to being a digital nomad? If so, what do you feel they are? I think you really have to set aside time to enjoy yourself and time to actually enjoy the travel. Because I think especially when people are starting out and you're really trying to make either a name for yourself or trying to figure out how to make money, a lot of it becomes a lot of work and you don't want to go from having a full-time job to creating a full-time job for yourself. So I think one downside that some people experience is burnout, is working too hard, is making too much of your day about work rather than enjoy it. At the end of the day, the reason we do this is because we want to enjoy the travel as well. So you really need to set aside time for yourself and set aside time to enjoy the places you're in. I think that's one downside I've experienced. Sometimes it's become too much about working, the daily grind, getting it out, and it's even become a stress at some points, but you really have to manage that and force yourself to just enjoy it as well. I mean, it can be a lot of pressure on people. I think when you're traveling and you have to make sure you're making enough money to keep yourself going, then sometimes that can be a little bit of pressure and a little bit of stress. So I always say to people to try and make sure they have a bit of a buffer, a bit to set aside so they're not always relying on the next project to fund their travels. Because you don't want to be flying to Japan, for example, with £50 in your account, not knowing how you're going to pay for things. That's not great. And that's not going to make you have the best experience. So I think a way to alleviate that stress would be to have a little bit of a buffer, a little bit of money set aside, and honestly that's what I tell people. The standard rule, which not everyone can keep to, is but to have a couple of months, maybe 2 or 3 months of runway to allow you to just enjoy where you are and not worry about where the next paycheck is coming from. Staying in one place too long can get boring at a time. What is the longest and shortest time you stayed in an area? I actually prefer these days staying longer in a place. I do also end up traveling quite quickly, especially when I'm invited to go somewhere on a campaign, or if you're just passing through an area, maybe it's a smaller country, sometimes I do it quickly, but I do prefer spending a few weeks to a month in a place. And I don't think it really, not when you're working, does it get really boring. I think if you're just there to just see the sights, then maybe it might get a bit boring. You'll start trying to figure out other things to do. But I personally feel that the longer you spend in a place, the more you get to really know it and the more things you find out about that country and culture. So it's kind of my plan from now on to spend a longer time in each place rather than just a week or a few days here and there. That's how I prefer doing it. For example, I've just spent 2 months in Bali and then almost 6 weeks in the Philippines. For Japan, we've only got 2 weeks there, and then Thailand 2 weeks, so that's slightly shorter, but that's kind of the minimum I'd like to spend somewhere now. That'll change occasionally, but that's sort of what I'd like to do. Even Japan, you could probably spend a lot longer there. How do you plan on growing your brand and channel over the next year? I'm going to come back to that at the end. When are you coming back to Jakarta? I don't know right now. I'll talk about it in the near future, But I think after Japan and Thailand, I have no immediate plans in the next few months to come back to Asia. I definitely will in the long term, but I'm kind of looking to travel to more new countries, places I haven't been before, and that's really what I want to work on from now on. I want to go and see new places. I want to go to South America, I want to go to Africa, and I've already got these plans in the pipeline. But for now, the plan isn't, after Japan anyway, isn't to come back to Asia, at least in the next few months. But I'm sure next year, or I don't know when, then I will definitely be back. Mind listing the countries you plan on visiting this year? I'll do a very brief overview because I have a few plans like that maybe going to work out, but I'll just say the ones that I'm definitely know I'm going to. So I'm going to fly back to Europe mid-June, and then I'm taking my mum away. My dad's here right now, for those of you that will have seen this vlog from this place. But then I'm also planning on taking my mum away over the summer, and we're going to Macedonia, Montenegro, Albania, and possibly Bosnia as well. So that's going to be all new countries for me, which is exciting. Then I'll be in Romania a bit in the summer. We've got a little bit of a project that we're working on there. Then I will be going to Tanzania with the Give Back giveaway, and Kenya. And that sort of takes me through to September. After there are some plans we're working on, but nothing set in stone yet. How long do you think you'll be traveling before settling down? I don't know. I have no immediate plans to settle down. I think in the near future we are going to work on getting a little bit of a base just to have somewhere that we can go back to, still be traveling, and I don't know how often I'll spend there, but just to have a base to keep camera gear, to keep coming back to. That's in the works, maybe this year or next year, but I don't know if that is even classified as settling down, because I'm probably still going to be doing a lot of traveling in between. Yeah, I honestly, I don't know. Take each day as it comes, I guess. Have you ever considered visiting atypical destinations like Kurdistan, Chechnya, or Nagorno-Karabakh? I'll be honest, I know Kurdistan and Chechnya. I don't know the last one. I'm not sure where that is. So you guys, well, I'll look it up after this, but let me know below what the attraction is there. Yeah, definitely. One of my good friends, Rich, who's been on this and been on it recently, he does a lot more destinations like that, and he's really spiked my interest in going to them. I think he's going to Kyrgyzstan for the World Nomad Games, I think. And yeah, those sort of places really interest me. So I think that is definitely a plan, and that's more what I want to do going forward. Go to places that typically vloggers and YouTube people haven't gone to, or even most people haven't gone to, because I think that would be a really unique place to see. So definitely, I mean, I'm open to everything, but yeah, I would like to see many different places. After years of continuous traveling, have you ever got bored of it? Right, so I would say that if I was just traveling and just sitting on the beach, reading a book or listening to music, I would get bored in the first few weeks. I can't do that. This is a sentiment I think that is shared by a lot of people who travel and work. The main thing I found out when I started traveling is that I couldn't just do this. Even if I had an infinite supply of money, I couldn't just travel and have fun. I need to be working for something, which is why I started doing a YouTube channel and why I started sharing my experience and trying to inspire other people to do this, because I really need like a hobby or something to keep my brain active. I couldn't just chill. So I'd say over the almost 4 years now that I've been continuously traveling, I've always been working on something new, working to do something while I'm doing this. It couldn't just be about laying on a beach. So in that way, I've never got bored, because the more I do it, the more I find things that interest me and inspire me, and the more work I manage to find to do and fill up my time. Yeah, I don't have time to be bored. Occasionally I've thought about doing other things and putting my time and energy into other things, but I wouldn't say I've got bored of the continuous travel. There's always a new place or a new thing that excites me. Ooh, my phone's in the light now. If you could only spend the rest of your life in one country, where would it be and why? That's a good question. Honestly, I think from the places I've been so far, and that's all I can comment on because I don't know about other countries until I've been to them. But so far I would say Philippines and Indonesia are two places that I could spend a lot of time in, purely because of the size and array of things to do. Philippines has over 7,500 islands. I put up an Instagram post the other day saying if you visited one a day, it would take you 20 years. There's so many different things to do here, and that's the same with Indonesia. I think it's just so varied. You could spend a lot of time exploring there. I don't think I could ever spend the rest of my life just in one country. I think that would be a big challenge for me, because I have these itchy feet that I always want to go and find somewhere new. But so far from the places I've been, then those would probably be the two that I would choose. I'm not going to come down on one. Which YouTuber has inspired you the most? Being completely honest, the two that inspired me very early on, before I started even this channel, were Louis Cole, Fun for Louis, and Ben Brown. And I've never actually had the pleasure to meet them so far, but they were two people that were doing daily vlogging and traveling at the time when no one else was, and I thought, that's cool, I'd love to do that. So they inspired me to start, and then it sort of changed over time. I think two people that really inspire me now, I think inspire a lot of people as well, but people like Casey Neistat and Peter McKinnon, they've both consistently raised the bar for vlogging and YouTube, and I think those are two people that have really stood out to me, and two of the few people that I really consistently watch on YouTube. Is your job only travel blog videos, or do you have another job? How can you get money to travel? That's a big question. It's not just video blogging, but I mean, I could go into a lot of detail, and that was basically the whole week. Travel continuously was what I was talking about, and showing people all the other ways around it that you can make money. It's not just from AdSense on YouTube. There's so many different ways. I think I'll pop up a video now that goes into some of the ways that I made money on YouTube or around YouTube, but there's so much more than that. And yes, I have other income streams besides just YouTube AdSense, but a lot of it is all related to video. I'm going to go into more detail on that on other videos, which I'll tell you about at the end of this. But yes, it's more than just video blogging, but it's also all related to video. What are your biggest tips on getting people to notice your channel to someday potentially earn money from creating travel videos? Again, another big question that I'll go into more depth in another time. One of the main things I advocate to everyone is consistency. Find your voice and find what you want to be about and what really inspires you, but then from there be consistent and keep consistently putting out videos. I've always equated it to throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. Some of the stuff you've worked on for months may not do very well. You might put it up and put all your energy into this, and it will tank for whatever reason. No one can predict why. But some of the stuff that you just do talking to the camera like this may for some reason do very well. All you can really do about that is be consistent and keep putting stuff out there. A lot of people like to talk about the YouTube algorithm or the Instagram algorithm, but really it's irrelevant. You can't anticipate it, you can't try and work it that much. People say that you can, but the only thing you really have control over is what you put out there and how consistently you do it. If you keep doing it and you keep going, eventually you'll get success. It doesn't matter when, but eventually you will. Was it the longer you do something, or the harder, the more you practice, that's it. The more you practice, the luckier you get. People always say, oh, you're very lucky, but that doesn't show the 2 or 3 years of hard work that you put in behind to be that lucky. So I would just say, just keep going, keep putting stuff out there, keep consistent. Are you planning on releasing merch or books, guides in the near future? It's definitely in the works. It's not something I've really focused on so far because I've been working on a lot of other things. But yeah, it's definitely, I mean, let me know. Let me know in the comments below what you'd like to see in the way of merch or guides, because I'd be really interested to hear. So it's something I've thought about, and I know a lot of other people do it, but I only want to create things that really, it sounds a bit wishy-washy, but it's sort of how I've thought about it. I only really want to create merch and guides and stuff that will give you value. I don't want to just take money for a t-shirt. I want to create something that people want. It was in a video maybe in November or December where I released merch just at the end of one of my videos, and I thought, actually, you know what, that's not good enough. I'm not proud enough of that, so I took it back off again. So let me know what you would want to see, what would really benefit you in the comments below, and maybe we can work on it together. But it's definitely in the works. I just haven't really nailed down what I want that merch to be. What books you like to read the most, and any individuals you look up to for inspiration? I honestly don't read enough. I end up spending a lot more time working and editing and creating videos than I do actually really relaxing and reading. Like I said at the beginning of this, it's something you have to work on and set aside time to, so it's really one of my plans for the near future to read. Currently I'm reading the Gary Vee Crushing It, which is obviously done very well in the last few months, and it's really worth reading. I've only just started it, but so many people have recommended it to me, so I'm working through that. I've tended to read books like that, like The 4-Hour Work Week, those sort of, how would you call them? Self-help motivational books. I can't think of the names now, but yeah, those sort of books are ones that I read that really helped me to push on and do this sort of thing, really helped me to believe in myself and start my own thing. I'm not saying you should just read those books, I think you should also read novels too, but those are the books that I've more been reading myself. Okay, that is the questions from the post, so I'm going to go back to that one I skipped earlier. How do you plan? Let's change location. Okay, this works. I'm going to put on my glasses because I'm squinting a bit. And I just realised there was the background noise there of all the bugs in the trees, so hopefully that sounded alright. I'll do it with the sea behind. So how do I plan to grow my brand and my channel in the future? Very good question, and it's something I've thought about a lot. What I really want to do is talk more about how to travel continuously, coach people about all the nitty-gritty bits of working while traveling, becoming a digital nomad, and especially related to making money through video and content creation. So I think it's a massively growing industry, if you can call that. There's so many people that want to do it, and so many people now are choosing to travel and work rather than lead a traditional career. So I really want to do that. I want it to be more focused on helping people achieve that, because I've been traveling for almost 4 years now, and I didn't have that when I started out. No one sort of coached me through it. No one said much to me, or there wasn't that many people that I was following that were doing it at the time. So I really want to help give people a leg up to start doing that, share some of my tips and tricks, and share the things that I wish I knew starting out. Now, a lot of that's going to be on this channel, and besides the travel vlogs, I'm going to work in videos about how I've done it personally. Don't know what that is, I guess that's the working videos in between. But about how I've done it personally, and then also advice from other people that have done it in different ways, because I've done it related to YouTube and video, but that's not the only way out there. There's so many more. Now what I want to do as well, and I've thought about this for a while, is open up my Patreon again. I had this about 2 years ago, and people were basically asking me, how can I donate money to reward the videos that you're putting out there, and to give something back for the time that I was putting into it when I wasn't making a lot of money from YouTube, or was finding it difficult to sustain the lifestyle. I started that and then did it for a few months, and then I decided to discontinue it because I started making money from brand deals and other things around YouTube that I didn't feel comfortable just taking people's money when I was actually having a sustainable lifestyle for myself. Now I've decided to relaunch it, and I've thought about this for a while, because I want to offer value in my Patreon. I want to do it in a way that people that really want to learn how to do this can get insider information and tips from me. And I want to do that on the Patreon to create a community of people in there and really help and have like a focus group of people that actually want to do it. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the Patreon link below. You can click on there, and there's going to be different tiers of information that I'm going to make available, different videos that I'll make available each month that are exclusively for people in there, that really go into the dirty details of making money online. And I think this, people might be wondering, why don't you just give all that away for free? And I've given a lot away for free on this channel and on my social media before. But at the end of the day, I think if you want to do that, then you need to start investing in it yourself. You need to actually say, this is what I want to do, so therefore I'm going to make a commitment to learn that, and I'm going to make a commitment by giving $5 a month for the expertise that I've learned over the last few years. I want it to be a group and a community of people that have already, how would you call it? Already taken the leap to start doing it for themselves. So again, just click there, go have a look, and it will explain more in detail there. I'm only putting that in because the question was asked, and it's something I've thought about a lot recently, so that's what I'm going to do. Go check it out and let me know what you think. I'm going to finish the video there because that's quite long already, I think. I've really tried to go into detail on all the questions. So I'll just say for now, again, thank you for watching, and this is my life.